In 2021, E. Lockhart published this book, Whistle, a new Gotham City hero. It was the first DC comic character to originate as Jewish in quite some time. In the same year, Roy Schwartz published a book called Is Superman Circumcised? The complete Jewish history of the world's greatest hero. He won the Diagram Prize, which is an annual award given out in the UK for the oddest title of a book published in the past 12 months. I once had the honor of facilitating a panel conversation between the two of them for a group of teenagers, Jewish teenagers, who was really excited about superheroes. From the biblical story of Yael's defeat of Sisera that we read in last week's Haftarah, to the modern association with Rabbi Yitzchak Lo and the Golem creating some kind of superhero out of clay, to Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's invention of Superman in the 1930s, we Jews have our superhero stories. Superheroes have come to our aid. Please quietly consider for a moment, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be? I'll give you 30 seconds to think about it. Anyone want to share a superpower? If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be? Sarah? Yeah.
Eradicate Elon Musk and Donald
Trump. Should I say that for the folks at home? Do you want to say that in your own words again?
Eradicate Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
Okay, I hear that we should end all of the power that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have. Thank you for saying that, Sarah. I'm kind of front and center on the camera, so being a little extra careful, but I'm with you. Yes? To fly. Yes, Bill.
My voice.
Your voice. Want to say another word about your voice?
Just being able to use my voice to make the cries of those who are facing depression or in need so loud that even those born deaf cannot avoid hearing them.
Using your voice to make the cries of those who are in need so loud that even those who are born who can't hear can actually hear them. Okay, wow, thank you. Yeah?
Eradicating the enemy by touch.
Eradicating the enemy by touch. Or
The ability to change people's minds and to make them more compassionate.
the ability to change people's minds and make them more compassionate. I saw a few more hands. Here, where? Oh, sorry, here?
Just hearing her.
Hearing her. Okay, a lot of different hears. Yeah.
To heal the brokenhearted.
To heal the brokenhearted. Can I just say I love this synagogue so much? Go ahead, Dean.
Superpower of vision so that people, when it's feel seen,
Superpower of vision to allow everyone to feel seen. Beautiful. Yeah.
Heal the sick.
Heal the sick.
Healing hunger.
Healing hunger. Yeah, back there.
That was it. I'd love to see everybody well-fed and with housing.
Everybody well-fed with housing. I hope you all who are on the live stream are sharing some of your superpowers with the group as well. Wow, this is a great list. Perhaps a superpower that Jewish tradition imparts on all of us is the ability to mark time and to bend time. Not only is the foundation of our Shabbat and holiday cycle about sanctifying time, but it is said that all of us stood at Mount Sinai. There's some kind of bending time thing going on there. Somehow we were all there. In this week's Torah portion, Yitro, our ancestors, ourselves, all of us, we are at Mount Sinai. We are introduced to God in a way that is both fantastic and highly personal. Fantastic. Imagine the kind of cosmic light show in which your senses are so piqued that you can actually see the thunder. And personal. Even though we may be terrified about what's happening on top of the mountain and sent Moshe up to kind of do a lot of the work for us, every statement of the Aseret HaDibrot, every part of these 10 statements is written in the singular. They are meant for each of us individually, one by one, hearing them in our own way, even as we stand together in a group. One read on these Aseret HaDibrot, this Decalogue, is that they operate somehow in descending order of importance. I am Adonai your God. Doesn't get bigger than that. We keep going through. You shall not murder is clearly a higher priority than shall not commit adultery. But some commentators also suggest flipping them around, like Ovadia ben Yaakov Sforno. When you reverse the order, the very first item on the list is lo tachmod. Do not covet. Do not covet. Somehow not coveting helps prevent us from doing the other things, because coveting might lead us to the other things. Yael, I'm so happy you're here, because I want to talk about the root of this word, lo tachmod, chmod, chamad, in Hebrew. Yael, do you want to give us a quick analysis? I have not asked her to do this before. This is all spontaneous, yes.
There's also chamud, which is cute.
Cute! Thank you. We're in sync. We're cutely in sync and acutely in sync. Because the root of this word, of tachmod, of lo tachmod, do not covet, is actually something about desire, of seeing something very attractive. It's a word that is associated with people or things that seem to make our heart flutter. Ooh, he's handsome. Wow, that's amazing broccoli. Why don't I have an air fryer too? Why can't I play piano the way she does? Why wasn't I invited to that swanky party that they're posting about on Instagram? Perhaps at the revelation at Sinai, in which we could imagine as a one-time event, Hashem was telling our ancestors that even though we may have had very little, allowing ourselves to be jealous of the materials, talents, or relationships of others would ultimately lead to no good. It wasn't necessarily an obvious conclusion, right? Just 6 weeks before, we're crossing the Sea of Reeds, Pharaoh's army is crossing behind us, and it would seem very reasonable for someone who was just enslaved days before to think, wow, what I wouldn't give for a horse and chariot right now. But our tradition teaches us that each of us should see ourselves as if we personally came out of ancient Egypt. Each of us seeing ourselves as if we stood at Mount Sinai. So this commandment, lo tachmod, of do not covet, endures. Lo tachmod endures because it challenges us not to lose focus on who and what is right in front of us, because we somehow have a fear of missing out on someone or something else. Lo tachmod endures because, all deference to Avenue Q, it delegitimizes any pleasure that we get in someone else's pain or misfortune. Lo tachmod endures because taking it really seriously forces us to cultivate a practice of gratitude for our own lot. And cultivating gratitude can increase our own sense of authenticity and self-worth, and that can lead to showing up as our full selves in our relationships. In short, the more seriously we can take the mitzvah of do not covet, the more we can approach the world by focusing on strengths and not on deficits. The more seriously we can take this mitzvah, the less we will focus on scarcity, and the more we can focus on abundance. As Rabbi Jack Reamer has taught, it is not enough to pray to God to end starvation, for we already have the resources with which to feed the whole world if we would only use them wisely. We may have woken up this morning mortified by another Project 2025 agenda item advanced by the Oval Office, and we may do so again tomorrow. And we will show up to call out and to fight this hurtful nonsense. But let's not lose sight of the knowledge that in this world there is enough food, there are enough resources, there is even enough kindness to go around. And all of that begins with us. When someone says that there is not enough room for immigrants in the United States, not only is it not true, but when we hear that proclamation coming from the halls of power, it is a deliberate attempt to divide one person from their neighbor. It preys on our worst instincts, rather than encouraging us to open the flaps of our tents. When the atrocities of October 7th, 2023, and the atrocities since are exploited to divide Jews from each other and advance Christian nationalism, when someone claims that there is not enough room for both Jewish and Palestinian people in the land of Zion, between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, when someone further divides half of our people from their closest neighbors, this also preys on our worst instincts. Many people there and here circle the wagons with weapons rather than standing on hilltops with a sense of abundance about the land. When someone takes the letter T off a website of our community's national monument, our queer Jerusalem, barely 1.5 miles from here, they don't only just deny the real history that centers trans and gender nonconforming people at Stonewall in 1969, but it insinuates that we do not exist right here in the present. And this again preys on our basest instincts once again. Somehow presumes that queer people will be queer people will be relieved that Trump hasn't erased us yet. So, oh yeah, we can kind of do our own thing. We are reminded again, lo tachmod, do not covet what other people seem to have, but we do not put up walls, do not separate ourselves from someone else. Instead, emphasizing abundance follows Ben Zoma's words in Pirkei Avot, who is rich, the one who rejoices in their portion. The more we can focus on the love of our own lot and recognize that there is more to be grateful for, so much to be grateful for, the more time, the more energy, the more power we will have to show up with and for others. Lo Tachmod is a reminder that beyond the world of comics and fantasies, we each already have a superpower. We each already have a superpower to take stock of our lot, to be thankful for who we are and what we have. And when we come from that place of abundance, we can show up for each other in ways that are magical. When we come from that place of abundance, we can focus on what we can do rather than perseverate on what we cannot control. And when we are particularly vulnerable, as I know so many members and friends of this community are, we can also be aware of the strength, the power to say, I need support. I need to ask for help. In one of our prayer books, Rabbi Sheila Peltz Weinberg writes, "Who are holy beings? They are beloved, clear of mind and courageous. Their will and God's are one. Raising their voices, they marvel at every detail. Raising their voices in constant gratitude, they marvel at every detail of life, granting each other loving permission to be exactly who they are. When we listen for their sweet voices, we can hear the echo within our own souls. Lo tachmod. the less we covet, the more we can show up as allies because we know that there is so much love to go around, even when our detractors try to convince us otherwise. So let's go back and try to imagine our superpower, not the one that would exist in an alternative universe, but if someone drew you as a comic, made you into a movie, told your story here and now, they could unearth, I think, many of the things that we heard, and even more, because each one of us has the potential to tap into a stance of abundance, that superpower that is with us in the here and now. Some people have a custom of reciting the Decalogue every morning after their prayers. Maybe we can decide that every morning we will make a commitment to eschew scarcity, eschew divisions, and eschew demonizing and erasure to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to rejoice in their portion. And let's recognize the abundance of collective power that we have as we do this work together. Shabbat Shalom.